It's Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Alaja Nima Akashat Zibiri. How are you? How was your weekend?
Fine. This is the first time Murayo is at Zibiri.
No.
Usually Alaja Nima.
Akashat
Then go as
Zibiri.
far as Akashat and then...
No, I always say Zibiri. I always add Zibiri.
So Zibiri is, they don't recognize them. So
How you doing?
I'm fine. It was a working weekend, but
yes,
it's very interesting.
I'm glad.
So I'm going to circles now where everybody will be like, Nima, so you go out. I'll be like, I do. But, so we had Surah Complex yesterday for the Ramadan lecture, and everybody was like, I go out. I said, I actually do. So maybe after Ramadan this year, I'll try
you'll be more visible.
About visibility.
Yeah, it's important because I believe that the Muslim community needs a representation, and if there's anybody who represents them, is you. You do a fantastic job at it. So I think
they feel very, very proud of the work we do.
Yeah.
The feedback was, tell Murayo on Saturday at Unilag, somebody particularly said, I named my daughter Murayo. And they were like, Nima, you're doing so well. So they're very proud.
I'm also proud of the work you're doing in the Islamic community, and I think you're doing a good job. So well done.
Well done.
Hello, Amaka Fresh in the building. I hope you don't mind me calling Amaka Fresh.
I'm back. That's it. But I'm fresh.
Yeah. How you doing? How's work?
Thank you. Work is great.
What's been happening weekend? What did you do this weekend?
So I had a self-care weekend. Went to the spa and was marinated and steamed like a fish.
Marinated and steamed.
The experience really felt that way. It was relaxing.
You need to take me to one of these shows because I have got a few.
Yes.
Well, I don't get the experience that you guys always talk about. So maybe because I'm going to the wrong places, I feel like they're intruding in my space. I feel like an invasion
of
privacy.
Your body, you'd rather just stay home.
So maybe if I experience what you're experiencing, I'll feel.
We should have a spa date.
We should have a spa on this day. Mariam Longe, published author. How's our book doing?
It's doing well, thank you.
Fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm fine. So at the weekend on Friday, I went for a wedding. Not a wedding, it was a birthday. 60th. 60th
We saw it and you left us here. You did not carry us.
Did I invite you guys?
Please, I missed it.
Did I not invite you?
You
said it was Ramadan, the birthday. Senator Larry Tejosho's 60th birthday. Yes, it was a lovely affair. I was gisting them of the faux pas that happened to me. So they had sent, what do you call it? Ashebi. I saw it. And I saw it, and I wore it, and I went there, and I was looking. I just saw that
everybody was wearing something different.
Yes. So the head tie was the same as everybody. What I was wearing, then I saw like the aides were wearing the same. You go back the aides. No, why would I go back?
She was the supervisor. They didn't.
And you had the same idea.
Yeah. Yikes. No, but I didn't feel yikes. I didn't feel yikes. I thought it was funny
that used to do that in his class.
So I actually thought it was funny. I was going to say, well, you look quite elegant. I was like, I didn't feel anyway, but I just thought it was funny.
But did you buy the actual Ashebi?
It was sent to me. So I guess they sent it. Okay, I didn't get any more information. So maybe
they actually will have a general Ashebi at Yoruba party.
Which is the head tie, which was actually the head tie, because everyone was wearing that with whatever they would wear on their bodies.
Really beautiful and elegant.
Thank you.
I would like to see the picture. I had like
it was funny.
Quite a number of Ashebi. They had to start calling people, please, can you take a picture of your Ashebi and send it to them? I'm confused.
Which one
belongs to you? I don't even know who is who anymore. I have like 4 different Ashebis on my head, and I'm like, who owns which? I started calling them one by one. Please, can you take a picture of your own? I don't think I went the wrong thing. It's the wrong party. I'm confused. I have like 4 parties coming back to back between now and the end of April, and I'm getting confused. I don't think so. I said, please send me the picture so I can. But the weekend was nice. The exam starts this week. Exams are starting.
For the holidays.
This weekend we're just studying.
Easter holidays.
Doing a lot of studying this weekend.
I'm looking forward to closing.
Let's go on a break now. When we come back, we look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with The Nation. Tinubu orders action against killers of 16 officers and soldiers. Mass metering of army formations with 12.7 billion naira begins. Experts list ways to halt rising inflation. Why Obale Kombalogun is great in Olubadan history. Huge turnout in Lagos food market points. Union direct varsity workers to begin strike. And Lagos to revive bid for special status listing of LCDAs. Okay, which story?
So I have the mass metering. This one is good news. So the federal government has released part of the 40 billion marked for current for mass metering under this current administration. 12.7 billion has been released for the metering of the Nigerian army formation nationwide, and it kicks off on the 9th. They kicked it off at the headquarters of the 9th Brigade in Ikeja here, and the Minister for Power was saying that it would be in phases, starting with the Ikeja cantonment, which is under the first phase, and at the event were plenty dignitaries and army officers, and they went on to say this was part of the 40 billion marked for that purpose. Also, the purpose of this metering, is what they said, the mass metering in army formations nationwide will enable us to know what is being consumed on a monthly basis in order to ensure appropriate billings and ease collections. And the overall intention is to eliminate and make estimated billings a thing of the past. So the people who suffered the most for estimated billing are the discos, because Nigerian army, you cannot just come and bill them at the barracks. And so they had unpaid power consumptions over the years. I'm more than elated for this, because we've always thought, people are living there. It's a very, very populated place, but you don't see the army barracks, dealing with payment of this. So now with this more fully prepaid meters, you can have, be able to keep records of what is consumed and how it is used and all of that. I say kudos to the minister.
All right.
I have Nigeria's fiscal and monetary authorities need to reassess the strategy for combating the country's hyperinflationary trend to address fundamental causes of continuing increase in prices. So the National Bureau of Statistics at the weekend reported that inflation rate rose by 180 basis points from 29.90% in January this year to 31.70% in February. The finance and economy experts said there was need for reassessment of the balances between fiscal and monetary causes to improve the effectiveness of policy response to inflation management. Anyway, what the experts are really saying is that, yes, there are monetary policies that, that have been put in place to help with inflation, but it is not enough. It needs to be balanced with some fiscal measures. They call it like a cocktail of measures to bring inflation under control. Especially, I got this, I would like to read this from the Managing Director of Center for Promotion of Private Enterprise, Mr. Muda Yusuf. He said that the key drivers of inflation include foreign exchange, global supply chain disruptions, national security concerns, disrupting agricultural output, high and increasing energy costs. And he's saying, to curb inflation, it would need government to address security concerns that's causing disruption in agricultural activities. So, yes, monetary policies are important, but there are some fiscal policies that need to be put in place to help, boost economic activities and slow down inflation.
Okay, so I have unions direct varsity workers to begin strike. It says the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions have directed their members to begin a 7-day warning strike today. It also says that the action was taken by the Joint Action Committee. And this statement was titled, "The Commencement of a 7-Day Warning Strike." And it's so unfortunate because the attention of this was brought to the Chief of Staff, of the President. And they were given ample time to sort these issues, to deliberate on these issues, to pay them their 4-month salary. The economy is really bad. Owing people 4 months salary, that's a lot. Yeah. How are they surviving? How are they managing? Yeah. And so they decided to start the strike today. It's a 7-day strike. Okay. And I hope just to give context to that. So it is, they had gone on strike one time for 8 months. Yeah.
So they had paid ASU
some
from
part of it. Yes, this is the one. What is left? Yeah, but then even if it's 1 month strike, if when you work, you should be paid. The economy is really
before your
hard.
sweat
You understand?
dries.
And then this also affects the educational institution, especially for kids. The disruption is too much.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I just expect and believe the federal government should sort this out. So let's move on.
Okay, so many of us know that last Thursday, the Olu of Ibadan, I think that's the story. Yes, Olubadan actually. Olubadan joined his ancestors last Thursday after 2 years on the throne. Many of you know there was a lot of controversy then during the time about 2 years ago. However, one of the things that made him stand out as Olubadan was the fact that he was probably the most educated ever in the history of that store, according to this report. Many of the Olubadans in the past, most of them were never lettered or only fairly lettered. But he had a doctor of philosophy, PhD, of Babalogun, therefore became the most educated monarch in the history of the city. He did not just acquire a PhD in public administration, he was also a lecturer at the Ahmadu Bello University before venturing into politics and business. So just to show that he was such a significant leader in that city, and he would definitely be sorely missed. Moving on now to the Punch. Soldiers killing. Tinubu Senate order manhunt for killers. Troops comb warring communities. FGI's $1 billion World Bank loans for IDPs and Agric. Strike. Sanu Nasu vowed to ground varsities. Government finds ignorance. FG plans talks with Ghana, orders to protect undersea cables. Picture story here. Consumers lament POS machine shortage at Lagos discounted food market. Abducted editor's wife cries for help, says her husband easygoing. Textile imports, 7 others gulp 1.4 trillion naira after CBN ban lift. And Senate warns against supplementary budget excess loans. Let's take one story before we're going to break.
Okay, so in 2015, the CBN had categorized about 41 import items as not valid for Forex, which meant that importers of these commodities were forced to source Forex at black markets and, at, of course, higher rates, and that put pressure on the Naira. But then the bank has lifted this ban in, I think it was last October, the central bank lifted this ban, and it says that Nigerians spent 1.39 trillion on the importation of 7 out of the 43 items earlier restricted by central bank. And they said the imported goods was 4.29 trillion in 23, indicating an interest of 100%. 2.15 trillion from the total worth of 2.14 trillion commodities imported in 2022. Anyways, according to analysis, the Nigerian Foreign Trade Reports says items such as crude palm oil, vegetable products, animal products, meat, vegetable fats and oils, rubber, plastics and textiles were all imported from various countries. They see this, according to World Bank, they see that removing these import restrictions would lower prices of affected items by 4.7% and also lead to overall increase in purchasing power, which will in turn lift about 1.3 million people out of poverty. So the World Bank is saying it's a good thing to have lifted this ban and allow for the importation of these goods. And they think it will lift a lot of people out of poverty. I guess it will bring about jobs, but then we're talking about how we can also improve our own local production. So
okay. Let's go on a short break now. We'll come back and continue with our reviews. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the one who can make time stand still forever, Mr. Kelechi Amadi. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, my brother.
You love that intro, Abby?
Yeah. It was great.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
We try like that.
Thank you.
Now my question, which I feel is a cheap question.
Go ahead.
What does ISO stand for?
That is it. I think I'll drink.
No, you're joking.
I'm not joking.
Kelechi Amadi. No. Shay, you didn't whine me. You're whining me now.
I think I'll drink. No problem.
Okay.
I've always known this as ISO. I never bothered to know what it means. I know what it means, but I never bothered to know what the acronym is. Tell me the brand of camera that I use, so much so that I even became an ambassador. That's very easy. It's out there.
It's supposed to be,
Yeah. I just said, let me give you this one as a token of my appreciation.
Sony.
Drink!
I'm not done. You did not say final answer.
Final answer.
You did not ask me if that was my final
You don't
answer.
have any choice again. It's only
Nikon.
how many cameras do they have? My
Nikon.
friend to drink. I gave you a very easy something.
Nikon now.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jam results. So
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
at this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
Okay, that's all we can take.
I choose to stay.
Close the show, Fadala.
Ladies and gentlemen, number one unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number one on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Lambast, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back?
You should start the gym to get fat.
Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference?
There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying.
So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
It's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make your relationship better.
No. Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too.
Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the person that used to us? What is his name? Thanks for staying with us. Let me take the human interest in Punch. So, Mrs. Oluwatosin Olatunji, wife of the abducted editor of First News, Segun Olatunji, has claimed her husband never mentioned any controversial story. If you recall, the story was that he was arrested or whisked away from his Yanodo Abule Egba Lagos residence by armed men suspected to be soldiers. According to the assistant director of the public relations, they did not respond to these inquiries sent to their phone. Also, according to his editor, specifically his boss at work, said that it is possible that this arrest was related to a story he published, says, titled "Revealed Defense Chief Running an Office Like a Family Business, Public Interest Lawyers," published by many other online platforms. And also there was another story that is exclusive, how contractor, the company stole 100 billion naira, laundered funds to top government officials, which was eventually pulled down. But reacting to the claim, Mr. Olatunji said that he knows nothing of these articles because he usually sends articles to her, so she reads it. But in these ones, she never knew that he wrote these articles, and she's quite really disturbed that her husband was arrested by people who were suspected to be army. He said, my husband's brother told me that his boss said he would be back before the end of Saturday. Till now, they've not seen him, and they're quite worried about his arrest.
They're sure which agency is, they can do an action. for him to come out, compelling them to release
them.
Okay, so we have, I have the Onjeko. Food matter is our matter. So Lagos had flagged off in 27 locations within Lagos State subsidized food prices titled Onjeko. Lagosians thronged the places on Sunday, and then they had issues saying that, one POS per stand was not working for them, that they should have multiple POSs so that it will ease the cumbersome process of payment. I do agree, but I don't expect it to be as easy as most people would. We had this experience during the Lake Crisis. We should even be commending the state for, first of all, the initiative. And having it in 27 locations is, of course, showing the intention of the governor to reach out to more people. So I think payment process, you should just maintain orderliness. And it will get to you.
But it's good feedback to the government also to get multiple POS.
Trust me, during Lake Crisis, I saw this. People do not like to maintain turn by turn order. So you pay, and they have a tag process they're doing. So they tag them. You then go ahead, pay, and pick up. But waiting and you standing a lot.
They don't like waiting.
And the weather is so hot, so it's outside. Yes, it's outside. People will be uncomfortable.
And that's part of it.
Okay, so we all know what happened last week. It affected everybody. The digital space and with what happened with the Yemen people. So federal government plans talks with Ghana, orders to protect the undersea cables. This is super important because anybody can have access to anybody. Yes. So the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, has announced plans to spearhead a global collaboration aimed at enhancing the protection of undersea cables. This comment came against the backdrop of undersea cable cuts that has affected Ghana, Togo, Senegal, and other countries, West African countries. Recognizing the critical role these cables play in the digital economy, Tijani emphasized the need to review international laws and foster partnerships, especially with Ghana, with regional and global bodies too, to accelerate efforts to safeguard this vital infrastructure. He also commended networks like MTN, Globalcom, their heads for really coming together in order to limit this impact, because it would have really been worse, because people couldn't have access to their banking networks. Nothing could be done. The banks shut down, basically. And
it's still
affecting people. So he also said that to those experiencing this disruption, that we should please be assured that they are working with all key stakeholders in the industry to resolve the matter in the shortest possible time.
No, I thought the minister was too quiet.
I'm happy about that. Everybody according to their own area.
You think it's quiet? Yes, I've not heard.
I don't think it's that quiet.
No, he's not.
They're working.
Are you on
they're
Twitter?
Working. Yeah, they're working behind the scenes.
Constantly giving us updates.
Yes, they're constantly giving updates, and they're working
action,
on it.
It's movement we are seeing.
No, not the action, because you're able to log online.
Don't mind Nima.
They are working. Tijani is working. Yes, he is.
Vanguard, Delta killings, troops lay siege to Okwama, raise more houses. How FG funds petrol subsidy through crude sales proceeds. Lagos residents storm food marts and make complaints. Devolving more powers to states will bring socio-economic development, says Governor Mba. Why it's difficult to market Nigeria globally, says Obong Atta. Insecurity hampering food security. Catholic bishops, farmers raise alarm. Okay, which story?
So in the Vanguard, I took the sports story just because I found it interesting. So at the current African Games hosted by Ghana, Nigeria is coming second behind. There's a way sports analysts report their news. So Team Nigeria has shored up their medal haul to 27 gold, 21 silver, 28 bronze at the ongoing African Games in Ghana to consolidate their grip of the second position in the medals table. Nigeria's continental nemesis, Egypt, have continued their unassailable lead in the medals table with an astonishing 90 gold, 33 silver, and 29 bronze to suit the tag of unofficial winners of the games, with the games just 5 days into the competition. And behind us is South Africa, of course, and Ghana is 6th, just to mention.
Okay, let me take this story by the former governor of Akwa Ibom State, Obong Victor Atta, said the weekend has been difficult marketing Nigeria to the international community for foreign investment to flow in and even to our exports to be accepted because of the persons who is doing the marketing and using the wrong approaches. According to him, was speaking yesterday, I think over the weekend, during the ceremony of the Institute of Certified Sales Professionals. He said specifically, he took a swipe, he expressed sadness first, that most trips embarked upon by state governors ended up being jamborees, while little was achieved from similar trips by the presidency. He also took a swipe at where Nigerians stripped their leaders and the country naked in the build-up to the 2023 general polls. He says one thing distinguishes February 2023 presidential election from others which preceded it was the election in which presidential candidates and their supporters spent more time in the character assassination of their opponents than setting forth their plans for governance. He was really, he just went on and on the fact that nobody would take us seriously internationally because even those who are marketing Nigeria are not marketing them properly. They're not passing the right information and not having the right body language for international investment and acceptance of our exports.
Maybe we should then look in and leave the people outside.
Okay, the point. You have a story in Vanguard?
Yes, I have a story in Vanguard.
Right.
So, I know you're the food lady, but then let me help you out here. So there's insecurity hampering food security. Catholic bishops and farmers raise alarm. So at Owerri, the president of the Catholic Bishops Conference of Nigeria, Most Reverend Ugoji, had said yesterday that there's a quest for more food because there's food scarcity right now in Nigeria and hardship, and people have been encouraged, their members, the nation at large has been encouraged to go back to farming, to take farming as because as a farm and produce what you can eat. Yes. You understand? So it makes sense. But then the issues they're having is the fact that there's insecurity because most farmers can't even get to their farms because most of this land's farm locations are most of them are at the outskirts, right? So with the kidnapping going on, most of them when they get to their farms, people might have raised down or stolen some of the products that they want to harvest. So it's a problem. And they're begging and pleading with the federal government and the state government to do something about it to protect the farmers so that we can have and help to curb the food scarcity.
Okay, final paper, the point, as final story of not taken. Insecurity, what Nigeria must do differently, says experts. As Nigerians grown, cement manufacturers record improved profits, hit 576 billion naira in 2023. Shocking confession of suspect who allegedly murdered woman 7 days after employment. Mixed feelings greet move to uplift FCT to full state. And lady allegedly butchers father dumps corpse in dustbin.
What? I didn't even see that. I took the 24-year-old house help. His name is Peter. He was employed, they said 7 days after his employment, he killed his employer. He said that the employer's name was Mrs. Shola Johnson, and she worked with the Lagos State Development Property Corporation in Lupeju. According to him, which I find very hard to believe, he says that on this particular day, she came home from work and asked him why he did not wash the undies that she had soaked in the bathroom. And he didn't say anything to her. And she asked him, why didn't you respond to me? And because he didn't respond, she slapped him. She started slapping him, and then he took a big stick and he hit her nearly 3 times until she died. He stole her phone and he ran away. Thankfully, the police were able to arrest him in Benin Republic, and that was when he made this confession. The reason why I don't believe his story is because they tend to always tell this same story about female employers, about making them to wash their undies. I don't believe that that's the case. I think he was just a criminal. Anyways, the report also says that, she left behind 2 children, one of whom was in school in the Lagos State University. He said he kept calling his mom. He didn't hear anything, so he came home to visit her. And by then, she had been long killed for days, and that's how he met his mom. But she has a partner who has promised to make sure that he'll keep taking care of the children and make sure that they continue to go to school.
So let me read the story. The daughter who allegedly killed her father. So this happened in Udi local government of Enugu State. They've been thrown into shock over the alleged brutal and cruel murder of one of their retirees. According to the story, the retired school headmaster, identified as Ruben Onyiba, was allegedly killed by his daughter, simply identified as Ndidi. According to the report, the reason for the butchering is not yet clear, but neighbors explained that the killer of the retired salesman used cutlass to sever his body and dumped his remains inside the dustbin. So he cut off the head and chopped off his hands. Said Onyiba hailed from Abia State, and his wife said that he said that they were looking for him for about 2 days. The landlord Donald was saying that the wife was looking for her husband for about 2 days, and they didn't. After a while, they searched for him, and then they discovered his corpse in the dustbin. His head and hands have been smashed and chopped off, and indeed the daughter has been the prime suspect. The neighbors are also seeing what they can do. The police has made some arrests, and an investigation has started. But this is quite disheartening. Chopping your father's head and hands.
What about
The person bipolar or something?
No.
Okay, we have to wrap up. Let me see what time we have. Final story. We can't take it.
Okay.
Yeah, in Tribune. The story that you want to take in Tribune. Now, bring culprits to justice. Tinubu directs the Defense Headquarters and CDS. NJC raises alarm over alleged bid to defraud retired judicial officers. Lagos to push for special status. And residents protest over house marked for demolition in the Ibadan Circular Road. Is there a story anybody wants to jump on? Okay.
Yes, I wanted to jump. I wanted to jump on the demolition of houses. Right? Residents are really upset about this whole thing. We all realized and saw what happened last weekend at Jakonde, for example, in Lagos State. My cleaner stays in Jakonde. The new driver that I'm supposed to, employ stays in Jakonde, and both of them throughout last week couldn't turn up because they were dealing with. They even sent me videos of them burning. They didn't give them enough time, ample time, to bring out most of their properties, and they burnt. They sent me videos of them burning some of their properties, and it's so disheartening. It's worrisome. Like, these people are trying to survive, and they're demolition and demolition. I think that the local government areas and people in charge of all this mapping, they need to sort out these issues before people actually build or outside these areas, because you're talking about people's money, people's time. We also need to be more involved about Nigerians' mental health, people's mental health.
Right. Mental health is very important. But it's also very important to conform with building approvals.
Yes, but
that's something that
unfortunately it's not a hot topic. We can make it a hot topic another day, but we have to wrap up. Unfortunately,
remember, most
stay
of
with
them are
us.
rentals.
We'll be right back. You can make it.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, La General, the one and only Pere Egbe. Which of the following is false about teeth? We are born with 20 primary teeth. Teeth are the hardest substance in the body. Teeth are the strongest bones in the body.
Teeth is not a bone, actually.
Teeth can self-repair.
The strongest bone in the body, no. Teeth is not a bone.
Final answer?
Teeth is not a bone. You know what came to my head now? That sound. Crickets.
So, editor, you can put that cricket sound there. You can still put it down too.
When was the first Gulda ultimate search? Editor?
Don't put any cricket sound.
Thanks for staying with us. So several houses in the and rustic Okwama community in Bomadi local government of Delta State were on fire hours after 16 military personnel on a peacekeeping mission were killed, according to reports comprising of a lieutenant colonel, 2 majors, 1 captain, and 12 soldiers were killed by the youths. The unfortunate incident occurred when the troops responded to a distress call after the communal crisis between the Okwama and the Okoloba communities, both in Delta State. Since the reports, we've heard from the president, who has expressed his heartfelt condolences to the families of those who have departed and who have served our nation with all their hearts and might. And he has also given the military the full hand to fish out the perpetrators of this and bring them to book. But what are your thoughts on this? This is such a painful update, especially because these men, these soldiers, were responding to a distress call from that community. And these are our last line of defense. These are the people that defend our nation. They are the ones that protect us from these kind of heinous crimes. So when they are attacked and killed, it's an affront on us as a people, as Nigerians. What are your thoughts on this? You can call us on 081 641679 090241 63440. Also tweet to us at TVC Connect using the hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. When you heard the stories, what came to mind? Let me start with you, Nima.
When I heard the story, I thought, what audacity. But
then, before I let you go, let me take the video. Let us all watch this package very quickly so that we can get a better context.
The 14th of March killing of 15 military personnel who were on peacekeeping mission over the crisis between Okoloba community in Bomadi local government area and Okwama in Ugile south of Delta State has attracted condemnation as the military continues to search for the perpetrators. The king of Iwu Kingdom, where Okwama community is part, has condemned the act by the youths.
It is a very sad news what has happened. First of all, I would like to state clearly that when this whole crisis thing started between my community, Okwama, and the Ejo community, Okoloba, I was in the UK at the time, at some point early this year, I believe. But I contacted the government regarding the crisis, and the information they gave to me was that the government had invited both parties to resolve the issue, and that in fact it had been resolved.
The trouble between the two neighbors is not clear, but last December, the people of Okoloba community alleged that their neighboring Okwama community had invaded and attacked their farmlands, fishing grounds, and indigenes on several occasions. The traditional ruler, who is still in shock about what happened, condemns the acts.
These military men, they are people who are there to protect our nation. They should be held in high esteem. They are there to protect us from people who are there to invade and or to commit heinous crimes. It is very sad that these same people who are there to protect us, who are one of us, that this kind of heinous crime will be carried out and they will be killed in the process. It is very, very sad. It is
report that we have from the report, just to give you a context of what's going on. What are your thoughts when you heard the story?
So I thought, what audacity and what an ingratitude to the Nigerian army. I had a family friend who was on relief mission. He had been posted immediately, joined the army to Boma, somewhere in Borno State. He didn't die there. He spent 7 years there. But the moment he was posted to the riverine areas in the south, he was drowned. And he wasn't a vast swimmer. He had a vest and they were on the rescue mission like this. And he just drowning was what was explained. The Nigerian young guy, he had not even had kids. So the mom is grieving. And to hear again that Nigerian army on peacekeeping mission can come to an area and the youth, because they said the community youth can behead, an officer of the Nigerian army in this country, when the army is supposed to be defending us against external attacks, we are attacking them within the country for a peacekeeping mission. I don't get it. But it will not be the first. I will not act shocked that this has happened. This is a first time, at least maybe for the Nigerian army. But the NDLEA cannot take a mission to any of the farms of these drug peddlers in Delta State. Those kind of audacity, those kind of high-handedness should stop immediately. If it is air and land and sea surveillance that should end it, it should be immediate. I was having a conversation with my husband. I was like, why are you so angry about it? Because it is enough that we deal with terrorists. It is enough, but when two communities, this is not just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know what the youth consumed, but whatever they did consume, the consequence should be as grievous as what they did.
Yeah. So for me, it really touched me because, as you know, I have a special affinity for our military. I believe that they give up everything to serve us. These are people that the moment they join the military, they understand that it may require their lives, and they're willing to give that up for the protection of Nigerians. And you would expect, a certain love and loyalty towards them, and then for them to be treated this way, doing something to protect the community. And that's why, for me, I also, a part of me, I don't want to believe that these were just regular youths that did this. Could there have been some mercenaries, hiding under the name of youth to carry out such a heinous crime? I just hope that, that they're fished out, these particular youths that did this, and they are brought to book. But there's a second part of this story that has further broken my heart, which is that these communities have now been set on fire, and they are claiming they are unknown soldiers. Now, two wrongs don't make a right. I understand the grievousness of what has happened in the first place, where the military officers were killed. But by also now raising these communities, what you have created are enemies out of innocent lives. There are people who are part of those communities who may not have known anything about these killings, may not have been part of it, have military officers as children or family members, So to now put all these communities and set them ablaze, that is so wrong. You would just compound the issue. What I would have expected was proper serious investigation to find out those who did this, and that will send a clearer message than just setting up a community. Although yes, we still do not have who these unknown soldiers were, but I just hope it is not our military officers that did this, because we have just further made this situation worse.
Sometimes some people, I'll come to you, Amaka, because some will say some of these communities can be complicit. I mean, it doesn't give them. Yeah, you are right. We should also put innocent lives. We shouldn't put them at risk.
Yeah.
However, sometimes communities are all complicit. They know of these people, and some of them have refused. What are your thoughts? Let me come to you, Amaka. When you heard this story.
So, firstly, I sincerely condole with the families of the slain soldiers. Right. The soldiers in Nigeria, the military, they are here to protect the nation. They will protect the military. They're human beings, irrespective of the fact that they have trainings, and then we feel that they are superheroes and they have superpowers. But then we've seen now that they don't have superpowers, that they can be slain. And it's not as if they went to war. They went on a peace mission to settle people that are fighting or they're having issues. And this barbaric and despicable act happened on their watch. So let's not, like what she said, what Miriam said, that two wrongs don't make it right, okay? But then you don't, they said they are unknown soldiers. But let's not also push people, human nature, push people to now begin to have a high-handed attitude out of fear in order to protect themselves. Because with what has happened now, if you send soldiers now into another community or whatever, their attitude moving into that community is going to be different, because they're moving with fear. Something might happen, we might be beheaded, we might be attacked. So you find out that the mood, the motivation will be different, okay? So this is really sad, and like Tinubu has said, the president has said that all investigation has given them the absolute power to investigate the issue and let the people be brought to. But because the community members, they know the bad boys, they know the bad people, they know the groups, the bad groups.
But you see, you can't really win a war against terror if the people who are affected are not willing to. Exactly. There has to be a handshake between government and the people, because I also remember when U.S. sent army into Iraq, and there's only so much you can bring as an invasion.
Exactly.
The people on ground must be willing to say, you are involved. You are the ones who are doing this, and they must be willing to work with government, because there's only all soldiers can do is blow up.
Yes.
But really, what we'd rather soldiers do is engage the community who are willing to be engaged.
This is what they did. Now, on a peacekeeping mission, they didn't blow up.
They didn't blow up.
Went into the community to try to get to the bottom of
an issue.
Blown up. And let me report to you how the bodies were found. Said at the NDDC jetty at the Coastal Delta community, the bodies of the commanding officer and the two killed majors were seen floating by the riverbank as others were separated on land. They found other bodies on land. Now, some of the corpses recovered were seen to have been beheaded, while their stomachs and hearts of others were ripped off. No, don't tell me anything. If I was the president, I would level that place. I went to military school. I had a classmate in JS2 whose school stopped the moment the father died on a peacekeeping mission. I met her recently, and she felt too detached because she didn't finish school. Do you know how many lives end in the barracks because of these kind of things?
Yeah.
See, those communities will never, no matter how this investigation go, point to their sons and daughters who are the youth who did this, and say, this is the person, carry and go.
Yeah.
That's how they did to the NDLE officers who went to a particular village in Delta State on a drug investigation issue. They did not let one out of the 12 step out, 12 or 6 of them. They did not let one of the officers go out alive. Every single one was killed. This kind of audacity must stop. The consequence must be as grievous as what they
happened.
did.
Exactly.
So, even this king that was talking in the video, he went to London, Okabo, he must name names. Or, there'll be consequence to his throne as well.
So, because the issue, the consequences are even higher. Because we're trying to get Nigerians to believe in the military. We're still healing from the inside. We're still healing from the role of the military in our entire democracy. Exactly. Even while this president is on his stool, people are saying, would there be a coup here because we're still trying to understand the integrity of the military. So when this happens, it sends a strong message that the nation is unable to defend itself. And the reaction, therefore, must show capacity on the hand to show that we can actually defend this nation.
Yes.
So, but in doing that, you must also remember innocent lives.
You know, if you are innocent and your community has beheaded military, even if you did not see
you
the
should
body,
come out.
You leave the community immediately, because you should know that the consequence will be big. It is in history that nobody they kill soldier. There will be consequence. It's not even in Nigeria. It's not the first time. If you have the liver to kill a soldier, your child or cousin or brother has the liver to do this. You will be in relative supposed to don't run. If you remain there,
let me come to Yamaka. You're going to say something.
Yes, I want to say that if for people that are the innocent lives that are affected on and will still be affected by this, then you should man up and then point fingers. Do you understand? So if by raising the community down, they start little children or women get caught up in this madness, what happens? So if you're the mother or the father, you're not going to point fingers. You're not going to call out the perpetrators of this wicked and hideous crime. This is terrible. Something has to be done.
Somebody's
father. I have a call. I'll come to you, Mariam, in a second. Good morning. Thanks for calling.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes.
I'm calling from Agbado Ijaya. This is my fourth caller.
Welcome to the show. First time caller.
Yes. And first of all, I want to talk about this issue of this army. The issue of this army people, what are you calling me, is totally wrong. Let's say the truth to ourselves. Army, they're protecting us. You are seeing there's a problem in Boko Haram bandits. If these people sending them to rescue us and they send these people to go to this death or whatever we're calling them, and they are killing them. It's totally wrong. It's totally wrong. It's a nonsense. And this was so lucky. If the former president of Obasanjo is on the show, I know what will happen in that place. Obasanjo will send the army to level that place. Let's see what happens in this country. Look at the country is this. Malayo. I support Lima. I was watching your program for over 10 years now. All of your fans. Because I see the way Lima was talking there. Maybe that was doing like that. Let's see what ourselves. Look at the country is this one of the stupid people. Is these people? I know it is yesterday.
Thank you very much, Biodo. Go ahead, Mariam.
Yeah, I understand the anger. I understand the emotions. But also, I understand being an innocent person caught up in between, this sort of fights. And I hate for any one of us to be an innocent victim in something that has nothing to do with us. And I'm speaking for those people. I'm saying that I understand that it's unfair, it's not right to behead and dismember military officers for doing the right thing. I get it. But I also know that there will be people in those communities who had no hand in what has happened. And these response usually that we see is not this a big one, but we've even seen it in smaller cases. And we have called the military out in those instances. Why then are we not calling them out in this particular instance? So we've heard of situations where a police officer fights a military officer. Before you know it, military officers will come and beat up police officers or send, these are things that we've always called them out on and say there has to be a better way of dealing with things like this. We are a country, we are not a jungle. A serious crime has been committed, no doubt about it. But because we're a country and because every life is important, the lives of the military that we're taking and the lives of innocent people in those communities are just as important. That is why we have to follow due process. I agree that if someone kills a soldier, everything has to be done to fish them out, but not by leveling communities, not by destroying lives and property even further. What you do is now create even new enemies. So you have a group of enemies. You now level the whole place. You now create enemies. Children who, the story that they have is, we're sitting down quietly in our homes and the military came and destroyed our land. Came and destroyed our livelihood. And that is the story that they will carry on. That is not what the military wants. I understand the military wants to send a warning that you dare not touch a military officer. I get that, but they have to find a different way of doing that. So we don't compound the issues, and that is what I see here.
Let me take this call and I'll come to you, Akmaka. Good morning, thanks for calling. You're live.
I have a different opinion. Elijah, God will bless you. Allah will bless you. You will go to Macabre, so we will support you from UK. You have spoken everything I wanted to speak. Miriam, please, can you down-tone? Hold down. What is property? When life is lost, those soldiers have children, they have wives. I want the army to level the two communities and build army barracks in that place, an army school for their children or their own family. So what is property? Stop saying property. When life is lost, what's property? They kill our soldiers. It's a disgrace. We are saying it in UK, it's a disgrace to our country. Who are they? And they kill our soldiers just like chicken. If we lose our soldiers, then you are not safe. Because who will guide you, who will secure you. So Elijah, please, Allah will bless you, like I said. Anytime I want to go to Mecca, let us know.
It's always good to see different, all circles of the story. Let me come to you, Amaka, before I begin my
Okay, so irrespective of the fact that I'm really upset about this, right? But then I'm a lawyer, and then we also need to, regardless of, like she said, Miriam said, like a crime has been committed, no matter how hideous that crime is, due process still has to be followed. And for the fact that the president has given full support that an investigation should be carried out and these people fished out, the law says that innocent until proven guilty. So we don't even know if this is a sabotage from people from other communities you understand? Because there's a war going on here. Anything can happen. You know, as a lawyer too, you know that people frame people up, communities can frame communities up, anything can happen, right? Okay. So before taking actions, I know we're all upset about this serious crime, but let's give them time to investigate.
Let me say well, I'll come to you in one second. There was an angle I was going to take, but I still have a caller. Elijah from Ikotun, thanks for calling your line. Oh, Elijah Babatunde.
Yes, thank you.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, first time caller, but
welcome to the show.
Yes, long time lawyer. For the first time, disagree with Miriam, my number one contributor. Today, for the first time, I'm disagreeing with her. And I'm agreeing totally with Nima. See, it is easy when they are carrying a dead body. You say, oh, see one person is carried. But when that person is your relation, you say, oh, so person is being carried. There's need for all of us to have one voice and condemn this thing that is just unimaginable. You see, I have a friend, childhood friend, who were same primary school, secondary school, same university. This guy went to University of Lagos, one of the best guys, and joined police. He was the area commander for Jebode, Omoloju. This guy was killed when there was a communal clash, and then he went there, to make peace. This guy was killed by the youth in the area and set ablaze. Ijebu Mushi here, in Ogun State, here, an assistant commissioner of police was killed just like that. If I am the chief of army staff today, by the special grace of God, those communities.
Thank you, Elijah Babatunde. So I get that, because I've always said something that where we are as a nation, it's not the same way the entire world is as a nation. This happened, many of us know the World War II, when U.S. dropped an atomic bomb in Hiroshima, Nagasaki, where everybody was blaming them because mostly people were killed were children and civilians, not even the enemies they were trying to achieve. So there's a time where when you do that collateral damage, people don't care who are those who are affected. As the point U.S. was trying to make at the time was that you cannot be they have to let Japan know where they are as the world leader at the time. So I get the point, the statements of saying we'll blow up the entire place. However, we are not in 1945 during World War II. We're in 2024, where we also must consider human rights. We are also consider.
What we are saying is that nobody should exist. That community, whatever business those people are disguising under, should end. Raise it down. Let nobody stay there. If you know your life is important, you have to leave. You should have left already. Then they end that. There should be no Okwama that will be on record to have killed 12 soldiers or 16 soldiers. That's the point. Nobody is saying innocent people should all be killed. Wipe it out. Because what you don't want to hear is that these youths are vandals who are in the business of stealing our commonwealth as well. They are probably protecting some bigger criminals somewhere. and doing this and saying, oh, a Nigerian army has come, will make it impossible for them to come. As they have made it impossible for NDLE officials to stop drug farming in those communities, in some communities in Delta. In fact, the president should just declare a state of emergency, let the governor go on a break, and let the military take over the state. Maybe we will see better. Because I don't get it. That's even better.
That would have been much better.
Yes, let's
a state of emergency in those communities and the military presence fully in those.
I can't hear anybody.
Yeah, and military fully in those communities, making sure that they are investigating as they are in those communities. Yes. I don't support the raising of whole community. I do not.
Let me take this call.
I do not because they have been. I'm so okay. This call has to hold on a bit. If you have been in situations where there have been clashes between communities and you are an innocent victim, Auntie, you would not ask for this sort of one blanket violence against people. Because there are some people that do not deserve it. There are some people who, their family members are part of this military. They have made sacrifices for Nigeria as well, but they are caught up in these communities and everything is gone. For the sake of those people, what does it mean to be? I mean, what's the reward for being an innocent person?
For being
an innocent person in a community that you find yourself.
For being complicit.
Many things will happen, even at country level, where another country will come and raise another country, and you find that there are innocent people within a country. That is what we are speaking against. We have to find a different way to send a message to people about respecting the military.
What if it's ineffective?
I apologize.
We have to find
my
it.
Friend's family. I have to mention his name. I'll have to mention his name. Bayo joined the army very young. Younger, he wasn't even 40. And he was drowned. And it wasn't this magnitude of crime. And so other soldiers left, were saved, and he was left like that. But come and see his family today. So when we talk about this thing, people live in those communities who will say, now only one person, the kina. You cannot allow this under your watch. Vandalism thrive under some people's watch. Some people make money and say, okay, the money, now come on, so my picking bring them. You know, when we excuse this kind of things, there will be no fear. What they have done now is put fear in the hearts of military officers, demotivate them. Yeah. They will be afraid, they will think twice next time when they are posted there. Some will now question their bosses for even posting them.
Okay, let me take Oriofe. Come to Amaka. Good morning, Oriofe. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Thank you, Mariah. And good morning, ladies. This is my first time of calling.
Welcome to the show.
I have this to contribute. See, Nima, you have to take things easy. Okay, let's just look at this. What happened last year? I think last year, when the military basically bombed a village. Do Nigerians bomb or kill the military like all the military in Nigeria? Do we burn all the barracks? No. See, there are bad eggs. There are bad eggs in that community. Fine. It's not when everything is being raised down. No, that's not done. That's not done. Have you forgotten about the Niger Delta region? No, see, I'm not trying to escalate anything. I'm trying to bring that bad thing that happened in part of this country. No. But I think you're talking about raising down a village, nothing should exist there. You should be talking, no, that's not the solution. No. Everybody makes mistakes. And we know the country where we are. The military at times, they do things to the extent, like every time they do. Okay, fine, the case is still in court. Who are the unknowns here that raised down the village? Do we think that the dead will bring back the village alive, or raising down the village completely? No, that doesn't make sense. To me. I
have to go on a short break, Oriofe. I'll come to you, Amaka, after the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Not just web. Very, very interesting.
You wouldn't want to work with who?
There's no judgment.
No, and I respect,
they'll judge you definitely,
I respect
but we won't
this
judge
certain
you.
type of people. But what I dislike so much is when they tend to come to work and then they pour all their
resentment
on you. Is it me that offended you? I'm not the one. I have no business. Man, just come and work with you, pay me at the end of the month, and let me go back to my house in peace and sleep. But when it comes to like divorced people, I cannot work with a divorcee. I can't see myself doing that. If I find out, if you can hide it, but if I find out,
when they are nice divorcees,
I would just.
What if they are nice?
Okay, now it depends. If you are nice, cool. But if you are the type that you don't know how to keep your anger to yourself, you always pour it on somebody. Well, I'll just drop my resignation letter, no matter the amount you're paying me.
So it's more passive-aggressive people.
Yeah, I can't do it. I'm so sorry.
Oh, definitely.
And I cannot work with stingy people.
See this one.
Because you cannot be passing me in the morning, afternoon. I can say, oh, yeah, I'm working. Oh, yeah, take 100 naira, take 10K, take 15K. You don't have to be my sugar daddy or sugar mommy. See, the way you treat others is the way they will treat you outside. And if you cannot treat your workers well, they are not a good boss. If you cannot be dashing me small thing or giving me donuts when I'm working, you are not a good boss.
I am so sorry I'm late. I'm currently stuck in traffic. So sorry.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this really painful story of 16 of our gallant officers that were murdered in Delta State. You're going to say something, Amaka?
Yes, I wanted to say something that, I keep emphasizing on the fact that this is painful, but you can't respond to violent acts with more violence. Like you rightly mentioned, we live in a civilized world and a civilized society. This is 2024. All other options should be explored first. This should be like a last option that, okay, we didn't get justice for the families, they couldn't fish out the perpetrators, and then the people now got angry and then decided to raise down communities. You don't just wake up and start raising down communities and start raising down a state or a country or blow up. No, as in...
Well, the military itself is a violent, it's created for such. That's the role of the military, to defend, and they have ammunition, they have arms, and that's a part of the tools they use to defend communities. Now, it's not just about those communities, it's about the message is sent even to the larger Nigeria, that can this entity called Nigerian Army defend us? Can we do it? Does it affect the integrity? So their response at this time is crucial. Not even just for the community or the neighboring community, but to the psyche of Nigerians. That can we? Because right now it's looking like whoever it is that killed these people have the upper hand. They're able to defeat our military, which is the entire integrity of the Nigerian army.
The chief of army's defense staff statement is that this is being investigated. The army has not owned up to raising the community. But you cannot say for a fact, Amaka, that the army was behind the raising of the communities. It could also be a cover-up of evidence by the community. Okay, quickly, everybody leave, destroy. It could be them. These communities, it could be, but the military has not stated that. And they are the unknown gunmen. Unknown men have cost us a lot of things in this country. We cannot.
Okay, I have a call from Plato State. I'll come to you. Good morning. I think I lost that call. Go ahead, Mariam.
Yes, I was going to say that. As the world, we're here talking about Israel and Gaza and Hamas and no Hamas. we woke up to news of some Palestinians having killed or, and kidnapped some Israeli youths. And since then, Israel has put fire upon fire on Gaza. And the cries that we hear from Gaza is there's a difference between Palestinians and Hamas. Israel says, as far as I'm concerned, Hamas is all of you are the same. And we have strong voices here in our country that have spoken against Israel. And then what are we saying here? What I'm saying, right, and I'm going to say it till the end of this show and forever, we have to find a different way of dealing with this. The number of innocent lives is enough. Nigerians have gone through so much. Innocent Nigerians keep suffering for the ills of the wicked. The wicked keep getting away with a lot of things. That's what I'm saying. Give the innocent people time, space. Let them thrive as well. The soldiers that were killed, they're innocent soldiers. They did not deserve that. I get it. Now they have left families behind. I get it. If we do the same on this side, innocent families and everything to be left behind, why do we want to compound issues? My problem is we are compounding the problem. We have to solve it. And in solving it, we need to minimize, the numbers of people, the people that are involved in this case. Minimize the collateral. Do we understand what we're saying? We're talking communities. I'm not saying they went on a particular. They're not saying they went on a particular street. Communities. Do we get it? Let them just enter Surulere and just raise it. That is a community. Or enter Ikeja and raise it. That's what I'm talking about. So maybe sometimes we just see huts and we think it's just one or two huts and they have moved away. No, these are lives, livelihoods, innocent, and I'm talking about the innocent lives. The Nigerian military can, the Nigerian military can find who these people are. They have done even bigger investigative work than this. This thing that has happened is more about sending a message. And I get it. It's to say, don't mess with the military. And I'm saying, should we do that at the cost of innocent lives and property? That's mine.
Okay, what I want to say is this, and in response to what you said, that the military, they have their machines and everything, and they need to send a message. Do you know you can be so powerful and you send the message in a different way, right? I hold you to high standard if I give you a gun, if I give you ammunition. The Nigerian army should be held to that high standard because they have weapons. Are you trying to tell me that whenever the Nigerian army, their duty is to protect, whenever they are provoked or what things will happen? That they should just blow up everywhere, or maybe, okay, you said that they haven't taken responsibility for this, but, they should be held to high standard that you can't just act because you can act. When situations like this happen, you take a step backward. You think, you investigate. The Nigerian army can fish out every single person that was involved in this barbaric act. It is nothing to them. It is easy for them, right? So, irrespective of the fact that this has happened, they're saying unknown gunmen, whoever, right, that did this. If it's not the Nigerian army that retaliated in that manner, even the people that killed the soldiers, the people that also raised down the communities, everybody should be brought to book.
Let me take this comment and come to you, Nima. It says actions carry consequences. When offenders are not punished, people's hearts are schemed to wrong. What were they thinking? If you bring maggot-infested firewood into your house, ants will come. What happened is despicable and unbelievable, killing soldiers in that number. So there's anger in the land. People are really upset. Now, I hear, Mariam, I think you have a point that innocent life shouldn't be the price we pay. But when you're talking about communities who are maybe willing or unwilling to help, because when you say, I want to investigate, I can only investigate if you're willing to offer me information. There's only so much I can get based on what you're willing to do. So I'm also seeing the part of, we have tried to investigate so many things. Soldiers have been killed in so many situations. I'm trying to remember the other one where it's, we lost a soldier. He was practically murdered. I can't remember what it was, a few years ago. The investigation is still ongoing, and even till now, we don't know, we don't know who the culprits are. So sometimes you feel that, and I think our former president has said it, that things are different in this dispensation. But when he was a military man, he could do and undo. But now he has to follow due process. Things are different now. So there's always that two sides. Like, what do we do? Do we follow due process and do the investigation? Or do we do what military men do best? blow up the whole place and get
military has
solution.
Intelligence. So military has intelligence.
Military
is not a.
They're not just.
It's not a crude military.
No, I know they have intelligence, but sometimes investigations can be.
Sometimes these things is not about intelligence. It's just about, as everyone has said, it's about sending a message.
Yeah.
It's not anger. It's sending a message, and I'm just saying that this sending a message, you have to.
Okay, so these boys have sent a message to the Nigerian government by killing 16 military officers, not just mere soldiers. You know, they started from the highest.
From the highest.
And they killed military officers. They sent us a message. Which message are we sending to them? A demotivational one.
Yeah.
I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. I completely agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
But sometimes strong hand back is what would deter. I'm looking at the most deterring consequence so that no community. You know, I referred constantly to the NDLEA one. Yeah. I know that one. I had first-hand information about people affected. And I thought, why in Delta? And then this happened again in Delta. There's crime being covered up. These military officers were made scapegoats. If you don't have a deterring consequence, we will not only demotivate and encourage the criminals, we will demotivate people in the barracks. God forbid that the people in the barracks start to bring out what they hide under their beds, what is licensed to them, and start to do a reprisal so that civilians can feel what they're going through. We cannot have this in such a way that, don't worry, we're on top of it. In 3 months, we're still on top of it. They have not found them. No, I'm saying, we've seen investigations take forever. Where were those who killed those NDLE officials? What happened to them? They continue their businesses. They still sell the whatever forbidden criminalized items that they farm. They still grow them on the land in Nigeria are supposed to grow them.
Going with your thoughts, would we say, what if the criminals that did this, the perpetrators of this act, you think they were sitting down in the village for it to be raised? You think they are not long gone?
Yeah,
you have not solved the
same
issue.
thing.
But you have not solved the issue.
Military is on ground. They would not be able to come back.
For the fact that they were
you want them to come back.
And I know that it was premeditated. Somebody actually called them and then did this to them. This in itself is quite heavy. And it's not something that one person or just a group of people can do without community having some kind of inkling.
You're right.
So somebody should have alerted the security officials also. But let me take this call. Been holding for a while. Good morning, Oloyede, I believe. Olori Egbe, thanks for calling.
Good morning, Miriam, Nima, and
Mamaka. Yes.
And the other Amaka, good morning. Today, this is my first time caller.
Welcome to the show.
All right. What I want to say, you see, what Nima is saying is correct. What brought Nigerians to this level we are today is because we don't take action when things happen. We don't take action. That is why we are here today. You can see every time, everybody, criminals are everywhere. Nobody is doing anything. That is what is happening. I'm an Edo man. Nima is my sister. We are from Seven Edo North. We don't take nonsense. I don't know they take last, carry last. If I'm in military, if I'm in the show of Tinubu today as I'm talking now, that place is gone forever and ever. It will be in history.
Thank you. I mean, one of the things I like about this show is that we're able to see different views and perspectives. So there are people who believe that even if it's one child that is saved, that even if it's one family that is innocent, they deserve the life to life because they live in that community and they shouldn't have died. Others are saying, listen, the entire community is complicit because there's no way those boys or those youths had carried out those actions without somebody knowing or having an idea. And they should have actually alerted the security operatives on this. But either way, this is a really painful development, and I'm happy that the president has spoken immediately. I like the response of the president. I'd like to take a few comments before we go on a break.
He's not happy with me today. He says, poor villagers shoot at themselves and burn houses to cover evidence. Anyway, fair point. Army has this owned up, even though it sounds right out of their playbooks, but you should extend their this magnanimity to the communities. The general says he drew a map of the area, and he says the ritualists will not go to Bayelsa, that's the long green line, because it is Ijo. The army should focus on northern Ugeli, which is Urubu. These odds are likely hiding in the swamp forest between Ugeli North and South.
Well, you see, the bigger picture, Amaka, is the fact that these are oil-producing communities. This is where Nigeria's wealth is, and their there are bigger consequences for these actions. Not just the fact that they killed the 16, but the fact that our Commonwealth is vulnerable to these mercenaries or to these militia. These are people who have they probably have sophisticated weapons who are able to defeat our military. That in itself is an affront on the nation.
They did not imagine if one,
but they killed these people.
Imagine if one were to run away. That one person, Miriam, don't be upset. That one person will feel emboldened that I kill soldier, nothing happened. He will continue that.
They will not get away.
No,
so they will not get away. This is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
See, our military is is tough. Our military is highly intelligent. Our military is, highly equipped. I believe that they can do an investigation and, and find out who these perpetrators perpetrators are. The crime that was committed is a crime against Nigeria, by these mercenaries or whoever they are. And they did not defeat our military.
No.
They cowardly ambushed our military and they did what they did. And I believe that our military will not rest until they fish them out. I would say again, I reiterate that whenever the military wants to show their power or send a message, remember that there are many Nigerians like me and so many others who are constantly praying for the military, who are constantly supporting and being loyal to the military. And sometimes we find ourselves in communities that, they are doing things. What do you think about us when you do this show of force? That is what I'm asking. Do you think about innocent Nigerians who support you, who are prayerful for you, who are loyal to you? They did not defeat the military. They just cowardly were able to attack a few of you. And I pray, that we find these people.
Okay. We have to wrap up. Let's take a few more comments on social media before we wrap up.
Just a moment. So, Kizu says, Alaja, I thought you were an attorney. Sensible people want the perpetrators brought to book, but bringing down the community because of a few is not fair. I hope you have the same energy when it comes to Israel and Hamas. And Israel and Hamas is it's clear in history. I laid history here. I did. I talked about how this has been the fate of NDLE officials and how we have not been able to fight drug peddling in this country. Because of that. Because a community can kill an official an employee of government coming on assignment and nothing will happen. And they'll carry on their businesses. They have their areas fortified. They have their own personnel. Weapons big enough to protect it. Because the consequence never happened. I know what I'm saying.
It's not
Hamas and Israel.
Once again, our hearts go out to the families of those who've lost their lives, and we hope that indeed the defense headquarters are able to find the perpetrators of this crime and bring them to justice. That's all we can take on this segment. We'll come back with our next topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have it's still 7 of 7, and we've been doing a whole lot of protesting. The only thing that remains is just to carry placard.
It's about 5 of 7, to be honest, because ask your question. I have so much to speak about once we finish.
We'll not give you the time because it's 7 of 7.
I will make the time now. He said he will not ask questions about science.
No.
Neuroplasticity.
And based on
he asked a question that was subjective about high life, and he did not finalize his answer about a Kuti question where there are only 3 of us.
Editor, scratch this part out.
That could have possibly composed the music.
Editor, scratch this part out.
Stupidity is an act of ignorance.
Hey God, my day.
Was composed by which Kuti?
Femi Kuti.
Is that your final answer?
God, I'm Sheon Kuti. No, wait, Femi Kuti.
You said
Femi Kuti. Wait.
You can't be allowed.
No, you've not asked me anything.
Everyone.
You've not asked me anything. So my final answer.
No. All I have to say is this show is really about drinking.
That's the whole idea.
The questions don't matter.
That's the whole
Justice
idea.
is out the window.
We throw caution to
We
the
have
wind
no
right
morals here.
on the 7 of 7.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm moving on now to our next topic. So, civil society, rights group, and others have lambasted the Accountant General of the Federation, Commissioners of Finance of the 36 states of the Federation, and other government officials for choosing to hold a workshop in the United Kingdom at a time when the economy is experiencing a major downturn. Some Nigerians are saying that it is the height of financial recklessness and insensitivity to the economic situation of our country. What are your thoughts on this? You can call us on 081-0764-1679, 09024163440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. All right. So let me come to you now. Before we raise down on these guys, let's also look at it in different ways. Part of the perks of office is training, workshops.
You started
even in the private sector. You see MD going for a workshop. You see the managers traveling to the UK, Dubai, going for some kind of training here and there. I mean, it happens all the time. You know, I am jealous because I'm going to Dubai tomorrow for a conference. But the truth is, these things happen both in the private and public sectors. So because public sector officials decided to go to the UK for a workshop, everybody's screaming and shouting. Let me come to you, Maka. What are your thoughts on this?
Let me start with saying, And then when you said, you called the names of the people that lambast them, and you said others. Others is Amaka or Akui.
Okay.
My full chest. Let's start with this question. What's the exchange rate to Naira to pounds now? Does anybody
I think as of yesterday was 1,600 Naira.
Exactly. Do you know the hardship we're facing in this country? People can't even afford bread. Even bread people were threatening to go on strike 2-3 weeks ago. No, bread. And then someone carried 30. How many people?
36.
To go to where? To go and do what training? That's so insensitive of them, right? Of the Accountant General, one. Secondly, I learned that, in fact, I even got more upset when I found out that the training was just for 4.5, not even up to 5 hours a day. What are they doing there? So what happens so I heard that the training starts at 10 or 11 and ends at 2:30. Yeah. So what happens after? So that means the training is not even that important. No, I'm coming. Let me land because I'm upset about this. Yeah. Public training. What happens to the government setting up facilities, training facilities in Nigeria, especially the public sector, especially what is going on and how we're trying to save money and save costs for the nation, right? What happens with us, state government and federal government, setting up facilities where you can come and sit down and train? You don't even need to, because I read somewhere where people were saying that the facilitators can be brought, it's cheaper for the facilitators brought into Nigeria. Yeah. They don't even need to come. We don't want to spend that money for facilitators to come. We can pay them small money. They will stay there. We sit down in the class, online. What has COVID-19 taught us? Zoom. We learn that thing. Go for tea break. Go for lunch break. Go for another tea break. From morning till night. What will you do training? You say people are brought to go and do training for 4.5 hours. Who does that?
Okay, point taken. But you see, these are things that are already in the budget. Before Naira became 1,600 or 1,000, these are things that are already in the budget. So the money is already there. Nobody's going to go and change any money for anything. That's one. Secondly, these are part of the perks. I remember I've gone to a few meetings of these labor unions. Listen, labor unions. And the only thing these guys look forward to are international trainings. I mean, as a government official, I might not be able to get a house, get a car, get all those nice perks private sector people get. But as a government official, one thing you are guaranteed is that you get rice for every party you do, and you might get an international training. So this is a major part of being a public officer, especially at that level. So why are we now making look at this? Because as if you, Amaka, you don't go for international conferences. As if you and I don't travel to London, UK for one conference.
Not paid with taxpayers' money. No, not at all. We need to be sensitive to the plights of the common man, of the taxpayers. Nobody should use my money and be doing jamboree, that they are doing training to 4.5 hours. If they had told me that they were on this training from morning till night, that they were not even sleeping, it was back to back, they were just giving it to them to not come back and come and restructure the economy. It will make sense to me. You're closing training by 2:30. What are you doing?
Can we verify that that's the time? But let me come
that's what the time just verified.
I'll have to look at the other side of it.
Go. Hima, please, I want to hear.
I just want to help Morale to redefine what training in Nigerian balance. Just as I said, it's a peck of office. And when it's abroad training, it's small work, plenty money. You go out after the training, vacationing. African countries and their leaders, whenever they go, and then they disgrace themselves fast. They will carry cars that is enough to pay for their debts to the countries that they are borrowed from and use it for their presidential, whatever, their fleet there. Yeah. They will stay in the hotels that the fee is enough to clear the debts of, or change the education policy of their country to do holiday there. Only a few heads, very blockheads, will be the one taking pictures without thinking of the long-term consequence of this in the eyes of the Dubai people. Yeah. They will see our people come for training. 4 hours training, like Kamaka said, that you can do on Zoom. They will see them land there. They'll be like, oh, there's a conference. Nigeria. Continue. Nigerians, they have left their country, that they are on hospital, uncivilized place to come and look at lights. Because what does Dubai have? There's nothing natural. Everything is artificially built. So we don't have it. We come and look at slides, lights, water, all of that.
Let me reply you.
Wait now. And we say we are training. I agree that if you can afford the vacation, it's from your money.
It's not a vacation.
No, wait now. If you can afford it, you can go from your money. But under the civil service, we should redefine what training is. Training is for you to be better at your work, not to be able to say, because I have reached director level, we were the ones, we have reached the special ones that can now go and do something that, you should bring. They say, mad person, they look himself. Now, in family members, they look. The way I always say these things is different. It means that, what's the name? This big one in Abuja, I don't want to advertise any hotel, that all the world leaders, when they come to Nigeria, would like to stay in. It's not fit enough for us to have our holiday. Because the dollar that we are converting it's important that we use that dollar.
Holiday. She's calling it
that
holiday.
Is scarce. It's not, this will not be training, Amaka. I just don't want to be direct. There's no training there. You see that 4 hours, appear in class, mark present. Go into the market and shop gold. Go to Dubai, let Dubai know Nigeria have come. And you know what, we like to make statements. Whether we will come back home hungry, it doesn't matter. First, let me go. How can I go to Dubai and come back and not buy gold?
Okay, I'll answer you. Let me go to Mariam.
Both of them have said everything I was going to say. But I was going to ask, sometimes maybe we are not well educated or exposed. I would like if Mariah can help us with this. How many times have people come from America to do training in Nigeria and stay in Nigeria with their people?
None.
How many of them have come from the UK?
None.
We have
Dubai
hotels.
Dubai?
We have hotels. After all, Nigeria. In Nigeria, we have natural tourism. Let me
answer that question.
Why are they not coming?
Okay, let me give an answer. Now, those abroad can come to Nigeria if they are on a mission to learn about culture. That's what we have. That's what we have to offer today. They'll come here and have conferences on culture. They'll come and worship our gods in Orisha. They'll go and worship in Oshogbo Festival. They'll come here because that is what we are offering.
They are doing the
abroad.
You
are trying to learn financial markets, how to see better ways of doing things. Is it possible? It's very possible that the AGF has organized some people within the American
Please, I want to talk now. She's breaking my heart.
No. I say we don't have technical know-how. It's a show festival.
I'm waiting for her to finish.
No, I'm saying based on the fact that she's saying that people don't come to Nigeria. And I'm saying that there are people who come for different reasons.
No, I'm not saying that.
That's the thing we have now.
Maybe not for the technicalities and how to build machines and how to do financial, economic, whatever. But the point is, people come here for different things, that they are seeking knowledge in different areas. It could be culture, It could be heritage.
I'm asking the one that their government sent. No. I'm telling you, the one that their government. No, our own is different. This is different. I'm asking the ones that their government sent them to Nigeria. That use their taxpayers' money to come to Nigeria. They're talking of personal travel that many Nigerians also do themselves. We don't know because it does not happen. And the thing is that it should.
I know the Brazilian government sends their own people here.
Anyway, if it should have been,
come here.
I would have liked an exchange of. Then we can have a
conversation.
I want to answer because the reason why I say the reason why I'm coming this way is that I believe that as a country we can't do everything on our own. There has to be collaborations. Do you understand? Exactly. But it has to be collaborations. Remember a few weeks ago when we discussed when the NBA was saying that people who studied law in the UK can come and what did they say?
Practice.
Come and practice in Nigeria.
No.
The uproar. Thank God for our Nigerian lawyers. Exactly. Yeah. Thank God for our Nigerian lawyers. But you know, if that conversation was we could do it both sides when our Nigerian educated lawyers can go and practice there. The thing is we still see ourselves as a country that is less than, and we are not there. Honestly, we've grown to a point where we can. I mean, they take our lawyers, they take our doctors, they take our nurses, they take our teachers. So we know what we have. This thing is solely, so it's not, I'm using this to debunk that it's about training. It's not about training. It's about these perks that you're talking about. Holidaying. There's nothing wrong with holidaying as a group. Every month, put one your asusu, be putting contributions and saying, you know what, at the end of the year, I would like to take 36 commissioners abroad for a holiday. Put it together and do that out of your own personal whatever. Money. But then is it not such an embarrassment that the group of people we are talking about are commissioners of finance?
Yes. Let me take this call.
No, don't take it.
Let me take this call.
Commissioners of finance that should know better. We're talking about our money and our economy.
1 second. Let me take a call.
If they were,
good morning, you're live.
If they were agriculturists.
Good morning. I have a call from K2. Mr. Festus, go ahead, please.
Yeah, long time.
I can't hear you.
Yes. Hey, you are trying to defend them. People that are exposing.
Maybe they can hear him at home.
And
I can't hear you, Mr. Festus. It's difficult to hear you. Okay, all right. So
that's the reply.
So the reason why I wanted to reply you because the truth is that in fairness, I have personally always frowned at all these international trips, especially for conferences, especially because I'm one of those people that believe that we are part of the problem. Changing dollar, the small dollar, changing naira, the small naira, the dollar we have, you're going to have it to change to dollars. So I've always been one to frown at these things. And over the years, I've been one to say, listen, why don't we have these conferences in Nigeria? But I am going to Dubai for a conference tomorrow, and that's why she was mentioning Dubai here. Because the truth is that I'm attending that conference specifically because I hope to meet other managing directors who are women like me and network. Now, if they had done it in Nigeria, I would have been so happy. But fortunately, unfortunately, it's been happening. Cheaper for me because it's quite expensive. So for me to go to Dubai I have a choice to make. Like, okay, do I miss an opportunity to network with other managing directors that can actually be financially beneficial to my station? Or do I just hope to go and see them in the office where they might not have my time, but in that kind of place, we'll have the time. So there are different reasons for different seasons. When I was not a managing director, I don't see myself putting anybody giving me money to go and do conference. I wouldn't go. But now I have a role that I feel is beneficial. So it's the reason why I have decided to go with the late women to go for the conference. So there are different reasons. That's for me personally, privately. Now, going back to the government AGF official, I'm going to go on a break. When we come back, we continue.
I need to respond to what you just said.
Please, respond.
Stay tuned.
This is 7 of 7. My name is OJ. Experiment. When? What is the name? Or what was the name? You see, I want to make them better now.
Rock Heart.
No, of the goat. When they brought it on stage.
The name of that goat.
Yeah.
We should go there.
No, that one easy now.
I'm just drinking this so that I can ask him my own questions. It's not because of
Buga.
He didn't get it. You know. Okay. Mention 10 female stand-up comedians in Nigeria. See, just mention their stage name. If you annoy me, you will mention their real names and the year they started. And if you annoy me further, you mention the names of their husbands and the names of their children. Try me now. Okay, mention their name.
No, let's just.
No, wait. No, don't. No. Name, real name, stage name, husband name, children name. 10 of them.
Even the 10. That's a lot.
Eh?
That's a lot.
Did I cut your question for you?
Yes.
When you were happy now. With your hunchback.
That was it.
You are wasting time. We don't have time. See, my brother, before we go on a commercial break, you are stubborn. And I told you since. The fact that you play this your hair does not mean. You understand? See this bad hair you are looking at. It's experience. I've suffered before you.
But I try now.
When you there during the military era of Abacha and Babangida, you know what happened?
I be Gen Z.
So that Gen Z, I will remove 4 out of 10.
That's like
4 out of 10 they passes. Don't drink this thing. Where baby you are on here. Drink out. If I land you.
It shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still talking about the Accountant General who took other 36 commissioners of finance to the UK for a conference. UK is just like going to Ikeja. UK is just like going to Ikeja. It's like 6 hours. It's not a big deal. Why are you guys making a point?
So I choose not to go to Ikeja.
So remember when I first took the story, I'd taken the story in the paper when it first came out. And I realized it's the same AGF that was involved in the Better Edu case.
Yes.
And she was the one that, it seemed like she was calling out a financial much more than that.
Yes.
Misappropriation.
Yes.
So you would think that she would know better than to make this sort of goof. We all said, Better Edu was goof. But this one, so for her it's not a goof, it's deliberate. So what message is she trying to send, really? Yes. And I said, as before we went off, I said also to commissioners of finance. None of them could say to her, Madam, I don't think this is the right time to do it. Look at the amount of money that
when you reach their turn.
And then apart from that, when they went to the UK, the part of the UK that they went, Wike told us that is the highbrow Kensington. It's only when the royals, that's where they stay. That is where these people went.
So you
can imagine how much pounds is being spent.
So let me ask you a question. Nimo, let me ask you a question.
Yes, Mo.
Let us, hypothetically speaking, say that you are a commissioner of finance of Lagos State. Would you reject that trip?
I would even make sure it doesn't happen. I will make sure, yes, me.
Will not go for this.
I will make sure it doesn't happen. Reason is because me, I know what is happening on ground.
Yes.
I can. If she was the one that called out Better Edu, then we should be careful. You remember the person in charge of account? I think was it the Accountant General then under Buhari? It was being investigated till the end of that tenure for 180 billion that went out on all of us. Today we never see the money. We have dug ground, we have searched up, we have searched cupboard, everywhere we've not seen the money. That money have gone, and I heard it was a plea bag. I'm trying to get the details, but my internet is terrible. That person was inside finance. Why is it these finance people who should know better? Because if I was in the Ministry of Justice, for instance, I would say it's because there's only English I know how to read. I don't know money. You are the people who gives us these figures every day of how the SBS has released today. Inflation rate is this and that. Naira is falling. It's going up. You have the facts. You put together this thing. You have the numbers. You know what it will cost us. But you'd rather take your own share when it's reached your turn than to do the right thing. If you don't have if somebody in the Ministry of works, they see money. In the Ministry of Health, for instance, stupidly wakes up to that, say they are just doctors. They don't know money. They don't know numbers. They know nothing. But you who are in the business of it, justifying this trip is the height of insensitivity. Yeah. And I think if they account for, if we investigate any money on that, watch.
So the one,
the
Accountant General of the Federation, Alhaji Ahmed Idris, over the alleged 80 billion missing.
Thank you. That 80 billion, we have not seen it.
Let me take this call. Good morning, you're live. Boniface.
Hello?
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I greet you, the ladies.
We greet you too.
Good morning. I want to go back to data issue, please. Don't be offended.
Go ahead, it's your view, let it count.
I want to say to the two ladies at the back there, please, whatever is good even when nobody is supporting. And anything that is bad even when the whole world supported it. So the two ladies there, please, I don't know you people by name. I give you people kudos. But the lady who is saying that the soldiers should show of force is because it didn't happen to you. So let me tell you what happened. Two families from Joseph went to the same delta to visit one of their own who is sick, who is hepatitis B patient. They were killed in this incident that happened there. So are you not saying that they are guilty? Are you not saying that they are involved in killing the same soldiers? Soldiers have been killing people across this very country. What happened to them? The soldiers have been killed by Boko Haram and even other places. Have you ever seen this show that let soldiers go there and wipe the whole community? No, please, it shouldn't be said. For the first time, I'm hearing this kind of nonsense from you. For the first time, I'm hearing evil statement from you. And I pray that what you wish other people come back to your family and come back to you as well. And
I think somebody should have cut that line off. That's just necessary for it to go that long.
So we empower the soldiers. Morale, just a minute. The cause goes back to him. I'm Muslim. I know what it's. We empower the soldiers every day against terrorists, against bandits. We have not even been able to stem them. We had to do the NDDC to stem what we suffered under in the Niger Delta over time, kidnapping and all of this. It's starting now, and we're saying we're justifying or we're finding it easy because we didn't see the corpse. I'm looking at the pictures. I would maybe post them of how the bodies turned out.
Yeah. Let's drop that for a second because I want us to go back to this topic. I don't want us to dwell on that. Yeah. But you see, there's a problem not addressed because, as I was saying, when I was doing my intro, I was saying that this is the funds for these international trips are already allocated for in the budget. These are things like a company says, this is the amount of putting aside for this kind of training. Now, maybe somewhere along the line, companies not making profits, but the money had already been allocated. I'm just giving an example. So the money is there. Now, she has not done anything illegal because the budget is there. So it's not the illegality of traveling, it's the moral part of it, moral justification that is it right in this economic situation?
No, she cannot even use that because the better edu case was not illegal, it was just due process. So she more than anybody understands that.
She's in the budget. So it goes back to what Nima said earlier. Should we therefore redefine what training should look like? Because international trips are in the budget, they're in the budget that's been approved.
Yeah, but then the training, it's within, see, even if that it's been approved in the budget, what was approved in the budget was training, right? It's within her capacity and her office to decide that this year the training should be done in Nigeria.
Thank you.
We can choose Abuja or whatever. We need to do on-hands training and see how we can save money, blah, 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 blah. And even if they now decide that, okay, we might not do this, this might be extreme, we can pick out 3 of the commissioners of finance to say, go. Or even she and maybe 2 other people. Let them go and hear what these facilitators want to tell them that they cannot tell them via Zoom or online. That's the same thing. Because it's not like it's a workshop thing that they are going to go and learn or they need to be in a particular environment or something. Whether I like it or not, this is their ears that they're going to use and their eyes. So at least they will have picked like 2 or 3 people to go and do that and come back and retrain.
But the amount of money has changed now. We just agreed that the...
Do you understand? So it's within...
the exchange rate.
So it's within her office and capacity to make those decisions to say, we can step down right now, we can do this tomorrow.
It's a moral decision
on her own part, right? As a leader.
So I was going to say the amount of money as well that you said had already been allocated for it cannot be the same amount because of the exchange rate.
It's possible that maybe, for example, they can remove Esther codes, they can remove other things just to make, I don't want to speak for government, but the point is that money had been allocated. Now, the issue is that, do we therefore continually discourage international trips for government officials?
Yes.
Because these things are part of
what is part of the tightening of belts. When they say we should tighten belts, so what does it mean? What does it mean?
These are the areas that the government should look at in cutting costs.
So when they say tightening of belts, what does it mean for different people?
They can use the money to buy rice and food and distribute to people.
Let's take a few comments on social media. Do you have any comments?
No, not on this one. It's on the old topic.
Everybody's talking about the military one, but we have to be, the truth is that I'm trying as a moderator to see all the sides and understanding the kind of person, because from the Better Edu's case, we see the AGF as somebody who is sensitive to issues of misappropriation, issues of due process, and ensuring that things are done properly. So it is clear for us, it's important for us to clarify that she didn't do anything legal. International trips are approved, and she's allowed to go. 4 hours, 5 hours, that's a different conversation. But can she, as you said earlier, make a decision to say, just because of what is going on in the economy, we're no more going? Now, should other parastatals, other MDAs, other ministries begin to review their budget, even though it's been approved? Do we now say, don't do international trips because of what's going on? Do you think you would do the same thing if you were in that situation as a minister?
Even our president has reduced the number of people, has told us the number of people that can go on entourage. Even he is making sacrifices. Does not mean that the Constitution does not allow. Listen, listen. What I'm trying to point out is the president himself is constantly showing us in different ways how he's tightening his belt, reducing costs of governance. And there was one time on this table you talked about there's a whole theme for this administration, which is renewed hope. How can only be the president be the only one carrying this renewed hope? You don't see it in the MDAs. You don't see it with ministries and things like that. That's what we're talking about. There's a singular message of tightening our belts. What are you doing in your different parastatals to show that you have aligned with this tightening of belt? Just the president can't do it. And if you don't get it, if you be appointed by this administration and you don't get the message, should you then be part of the administration? If you don't know that now more than ever is the time that we cannot afford to use foreign exchange for trips like this. When there are alternatives, remember, we're not saying don't have trainings at all, but there's a cheaper way to do this, and do that. Simple.
Okay, Sir Choko's says, you people should allow mommy and children do holiday in peace journey. They should bring sweet and chocolate for the hungry Nigerians.
I have to go. Let me let them
Okay, so my final words here is that for you to be appointed to any position, as you know, because you're in the position of power, you should have leadership skills. You should have certain initiatives, right? And you should also make sure that if you're going to even spend that taxpayers' money, that there's value. That value is gotten. It's not just for you to just say, oh, you just sign it off, that they should go. No, not 4.5 hours value. And then part of the things is to go and visit the Nigerian High Commission in London and everything. No, it's not just for when you're a leader, it's not just for you to sign off on stuff. You have to also make sure that we are getting value.
As you're reading it, I'm just seeing tourists. I thought they are going on
they went to Nigeria.
They went to Dubai, going to High Commission. They are on the tourist.
No, we have 36 states in Nigeria. 36 commissioners. Each of them. So they went with the. I mean, I don't think they went with an overbloated number of people.
Are they going to get figures that will help us in reaching statistics?
Anyways, it is you that know. Point is that but Nima is right in the sense that we need to redefine these things because of our economic realities of today. We obviously need to redefine these things. Private people also are tightening their belts because not everybody, even the president who has started tightening his belt, but even needing to tighten it further because I hear he might be traveling this week. But the point is that we all just need to make sure that the renewed hope is trickled down from top to bottom, meaning that ministries, MDAs, everybody, agencies must all tighten up their belts. All those international trips should be cut down. Nigerians must see the body language of government and governance that they are also tightening their belts so that we can actually believe in the renewed hope agenda. That's all we can take on today's show. Hope you have learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.